welcome to the show, man.
It's good to be here. Am I pronouncing this right? Viall Files?
Viall Files,
yes?
that's it.
Most people get it wrong. I get it wrong.
If it were Viall Files, it doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
You need something that rhymes with veal.
The
real veal.
The real veal.
The real veal. Oh, we're very excited to have you, Paul. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Oh, thanks,
so
man.
I hope that's okay
nice.
to say. Sometimes it feels weird when you kind of out yourself, but
kind of indifferent. It's nice to hear that from people, but I also try not to place my value on that. That's tricky in this industry.
It is, yeah.
Am I popular? Am I doing well?
Do you know
What's
me?
my
Do you
tomato
like me?
meter?
Is that I mean, yeah. I mean, in this industry, it's really tough to
going deep.
Yeah.
We're going deep right out the gate. No, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's and in any facet of occupation that can be a temptation, but it certainly doesn't wield very good results. Probably.
Have you always been kind of cognizant of that, or did you have to learn about that self-awareness at some point in your career?
I think I was aware of it, but I think you become better at it the older you get, the more you mature. You don't flip out over the things you used to be so kind of hyper focused on.
I feel like, did it change more for you once you had kids and you were like, oh, now
Well, that
I realize,
too, right? Definitely kids help. And I think the other thing is like, I've been very lucky too. It's easier to let go of that stuff after you've had some success than if you've never had some. But as you learn in our industry, it's really weird where so many things are out of your control. Maybe the company that funded your movie went bankrupt. Maybe it got acquired in some merger acquisition thing. Maybe they switched editors midway through. Like you can only control what you can control, which is your performance and how you treat people on the day when you make it.
I mean, again, I've been such a big fan of yours for a long time. Like Richard Jewell, Blackbird, I Tanya.
Once again, like you don't have those auspices unless you're handed those scripts. Like a lot of it, people think I'm being faux humble when I say like, oh, it's God's grace or it's happenstance. But I mean, that is what that is. You either get those emails and phone calls and divine appointments at a random party or outing, or you don't.
Yeah. Have you, because you started in comedy, right?
Yeah. I did stand up for off and on for like 12 years. And then I did improv at UCB in LA. I did one level of the 4, and I did 2 levels at the IO Theater in Chicago. That's where, Tina Fey and Chris Farley and all these people came out of.
And do you remember like as I know, like Richard Jewell, I think a lot of people think that's like was your big breakout role where it felt like things really changed for you. But like from your perspective in your career, was that like the moment where you kind of had like a pinch me moment where you thought like, I have like a future in this business? Or was there another role that you had that that gave you that feeling?
I mean, you always are somewhat correct / delusional in thinking you have a place in this business or that it can happen. You have to be to move to LA and do all the things. But I think the first thing that made me think, this is becoming real was I did a show called Kingdom with Frank Grillo and Nick Jonas back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
And I did like 24 out of 40 episodes. And that was like, I got to quit my waitering job. Like I quit my day job in 2015 for that. And that was like a big, like, this is like real. And then I, Tanya was the first time I was a part of something that was more in the public consciousness and kind of on a microscope level where people went, everyone's going to see this movie, I, Tanya got me in the door for Hollywood. I think Richard Jewell is where they shut the door and locked it and said, you can stay. And then Blackbird was like, hey, we have this whole other part of the house. Do you want to come to that?
Okay.
And it was like, that's fun. You hope to get to take the tour along your career.
Like at what point, because I'm sure you get like, every actor, you get smaller roles and you get bigger roles. Like I saw an interview with you and you were just kind of talking about, maybe it was the YouTube video you did with your wife, which was like really touching. But
where we talked about our marriage. It's like a video ministry thing called I Am Second.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, but you were just kind of talking about how you saw yourself, versus like how you got into acting and, compared to like your other siblings and kind of being the funny guy. At what point did you kind of see yourself as like, I could be like a leading person in a movie, or I could be the main, the key person? Because at first, you're kind of doing like these character actor work and you're kind of dominating the scenes that you're in, to be like, doing a movie with Mark Wahlberg and being like the 2 main characters, like in Balls Up.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I remember growing up, like certain movies I watched, certain people stuck with me, even though they
Mhm.
weren't like the lead role. And one of those people I would go on to work with briefly. I didn't have any scenes with her, but I vividly remember Allison Janney
Mm.
had one scene in Miracle on 34th Street, the film from like 94 with Mara Wilson, the
Yeah.
little girl
Mhm.
from Matilda. She's now a human woman, at the time a little girl.
Yeah.
I remember her in that, and I remember her playing the principal in 10 Things I Hate About You with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. And I just remember thinking, like, that woman, every time I see her, whether it's those or Drop Dead Gorgeous, like American Beauty, she's always so good
Yes.
Mhm.
every time I see her. So that was my benchmark of that. They probably won't let me star in movies, but like, I'm going to be the best person if I have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Paul Giamatti in My Best Friend's Wedding has a scene with
Mm.
Julia Roberts in the hallway. They share a cigarette, and like it left an imprint on me
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Mhm.
13 years old or whatever. When I saw that movie, I thought that's the key. The key is to be really freaking good, and then maybe they throw you a lead role eventually. But either way, like I'm gonna try to be that good all the time. And then Richard Jewell and Blackbird and Luckiest Man in America and stuff like this, Balls Up came my way where I was like, oh man, awesome. Like it happened, period. Now it's happening more than once. And selfishly, it's fun to be the lead and I would like to keep doing that. But,
Mhm.
you got to provide for your family and you're lucky to be in the business at all. So you take whatever good stuff comes your way, hopefully.
You were talking in that video and you were talking about actors that you also like saw yourself in. I hope this is okay for me saying, but like to me, I feel like you're the Philip Seymour Hoffman of our time in a way. I hope that's not too heavy to say, but like the same way you described, every time I would see Philip in a movie, like no matter what the role, it was
Villain,
this, like,
Scent of a Woman, or
just whatever it is. It was just he would
Magnolia.
steal that
Something
scene,
like
and I've always really enjoyed your work and felt exactly that way about you.
no
but I feel
cooler,
like
higher praise than that. But I appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of actors say that, but how were you able to make that a real thing? Because I think like, every actor is like, hey, I want to steal a scene, but like what?
I don't
when
think
you're
it's
going in, how do
intentional.
you?
You just
yeah.
you just. I think some people kind of have the sauce. There are 8, 9-year-olds who crack me up, or they sing a song, and you're like, wow, they have something. So it's a little bit of that if it's innate or born into you, and then you have to mature that and you have to come prepared, whether that's having your lines memorized or having ideas or being able to do something on the fly. I remember on my first film, I was doing a driving sequence. They had me driving a real rickety, kind of busted down vehicle. I forget the make and model, but there was something to where the car broke down mid scene, and the director, Dustin Lance Black, who won the Oscar for writing Milk and wrote this movie, the first one I was in, he didn't yell cut. So I just started improvising in character like the car had really broken down. And after he yelled cut, he was like, dude, that's genius. And it was like, that gave me a sort of a tick and a motivation to like always be prepared,
Mhm.
be ready to improvise. And some of the actors I admire most, like the late Catherine O'Hara or Christopher Guest, they had that improv thing where they can be put in a Christopher Guest movie and just go off. So I thought, well, why not bring that to every genre you do and at least have it ready? So that's something I do that might stand out. There are things in movies or trailers where I go, oh, they kept that. And it's
Yeah.
like, it feels like a little internal badge of honor that
Yeah.
they liked your improv.
Like that was your baby. That was your creative
Yeah,
genius.
yeah. There's a moment in I, Tanya, where, and Steven Rogers wrote this perfect screenplay. It certainly didn't need improv, but there was a moment in I, Tanya, where I say, the original line I say to Sebastian Stan was something like, I have this friend, Derek, he could do it for about $1,000, talking about the hit on Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if he said I shouldn't even be saying his name, Derek? And because it's like, who would be suspicious if you just say the first name? So it's like a little joke I threw in on take 2 or 3, and they were like, oh, keep that. We like that. And that was cool.
I felt connected when watching that movie. I was on Dancing with the Stars with Nancy Kerrigan. I got to meet her. We got eliminated the same week.
Whoa.
Well, I was about to ask, how did it go? It sounds like it might not have went how you wanted it to.
It wasn't the worst thing that happened to her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She was the Olympic. I made it like to the quarterfinal. I was like top 5.
Was it Nancy Kerrigan or Tanya Harding?
Nancy Kerrigan.
Okay, they both did it.
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding did Dancing with the Stars, didn't she?
Yeah. I think she did. She probably did. She probably did.
I think she did. After the movie came out, she had like a brief resurgence.
Okay. Nancy
Yeah.
did pretty well, but I imagine Nancy probably wanted to go farther than finish the same as the former Bachelor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a flex for me, less for her.
Flex for her, for sure.
Don't forget, Viall Files Plus now offers ad-free episodes for all Viall Files episodes, including Ask Nick, Reality Recap, and Going Deeper. Plus, if you love Ask Nick, you will absolutely love our Ask Nick updates, where you get updates of your favorite calls, our deep dive on all your favorite Reality Recap TV shows, and our pop culture roundup, where we talk about all your favorite pop culture topics that we didn't get to in this week's episode, plus deep dives on our Going Deeper guest, and so much more. All you have to do is go to Viall Files Plus, and you will be lucky you did.
So your initial rise to stardom came with The Bachelor?
Yeah, I was on reality TV.
Yeah, my buddy Elon, E-L-A-N.
Alon Gale.
Yeah.
Close friend of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love him to death. I just made his acquaintance recently, but his
He's
big
great.
start was The Bachelor, and now he's killing it in film and
Yeah, we were
reality
doing some
and-
work together. He changed my life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that guy a lot. He's
Mhm.
someone I just want to be around.
He's so
He's
fun.
very
Meet him and
smart,
you're
very
so
funny,
cool.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's how did you meet him?
I just got set up on a general meeting on Zoom with him. My buddy Julian Sergi, who is one of my dear friends, and we co-write movies and TV together. He had a meeting with him. He's like, "You got to meet this guy," and then we did, and it was a love fest. And now we're trying to develop something with him.
That's incredible. Now, when you're doing like improv stuff, is it harder to do when you're doing drama? Because I feel like people assume improv with comedy, like with with Balls Up. I can't help but wonder if like half that movie was you guys improv.
No. We had a great script.
Okay.
I would say like 95% of it's probably scripted and Balls Up. But we played around a little bit and found some stuff. And with comedy, it's a little easier to improvise because at the end of the day, you're usually trying to get the joke,
Mhm.
Yeah.
get the laugh. But in drama, I do it too. In drama, it's about keeping it real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you can have a real moment in a dramatic film, maybe it'll be funny or maybe it'll be powerful in its own way or something. Like in Deliver Me From Nowhere, the Springsteen movie I did, there's a moment where Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen says, like, "I want the original. I don't like this." And he like storms out of the studio.
Hmm.
And they kept the camera rolling on me and Jeremy Strong and Mark Maron. They didn't yell cut. So I just went, because he's saying scrap everything. I just care
Yeah.
about this thing. And there's a beat we take of silence. And I just said, I was like, "Man, I really love Born in the USA." And it was just genuine. It wasn't
You
trying to
just
be
kept
super
it.
funny,
Yeah.
but like
Mhm.
it gets one of the biggest laughs in kind of a non-laugh movie.
Yeah.
And non-laugh movies, you need some levity sometimes. So
That's true.
that was an honest moment that just happened to be funny.
When you got the script for Balls Up, was there a like, this is nuts? No pun intended.
Multiple
Because at
things.
first
that
you're
were-
watching, and you're like, "What am I
You're like,
watching?"
what is
at
this
first? Like,
And you see Molly Shannon.
but then the premise is so like
It's a comedy playground.
I was saying
Yeah.
to Natalie when we were watching the movie, they're like, if this actually happened in real life, where a guy stopped a goal from like
Oh, yeah.
a World Cup, like this would be one of the most insane. Like it's an insane premise, but it's based off of like, what if this actually happened?
Yeah, it's based off the reaction of unhealthy tribalism. And I don't think that's
Mhm.
really that out of the orbit. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, you would hear stories about kids who like brought a switchblade to school, threatening some other kid for their Beanie Baby or Pokemon card. And it's like,
yeah.
Mhm.
that's evocative of the psychotic nature of fandom.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so that part isn't so crazy. The crazy part is, of course, there's an alligator and there's
Yeah.
they're getting shot at on a boat and that stuff.
And the like condom that's covering the balls too. It's like,
No, it's
I mean, I
called
didn't
out.
expect that
Yeah.
either. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why hasn't anyone
Who
thought
thought
of
of
it? Is
that?
like the through line
So
throughout
funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
multiple
crazy.
people came up to me. They're like, "That seems like a good product." I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I literally I lost my virginity to my wife. I like waited, so I'm not a condom guy in general. I don't
Yeah.
really know much about them.
Speaking of, how many kids do you have?
3,
3.
Yeah.
2 boys.
2 boys,
Two
and
boys
then the
and a-
youngest is our 8-month-old baby girl, and they
Oh.
are whole bunch of fun. Is this your first?
No, we have a 2-year-old little girl, and then I'm pregnant with twins, 2 more girls.
Would have been gangster if you just
So.
said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
Stared at me, and I'm like, "Oh, F word." Amazing. 4 girls.
3
Three,
girls.
it'll be three.
Oh, sorry. I
It'll be
thought
3
4
girls.
altogether. It'll be 3.
Yep.
Okay. Have fun with that. That'll be interesting.
How did it change for you
Dynamics.
going from boys to girl?
Not much. The
It
only
didn't?
thing that really changes that I can already tell I'm more lenient and
Mm.
defensive of my daughter.
Yeah.
She'll probably get away with murder, whereas the boys won't. Although the boys are near committing murder, they're psychotic. They do a lot of things that pet my peeve. Like my son Harris will just pour his drink or beverage out on the floor because he's just fascinated by water. He has autism too, and like water and horses are like certain things that kids with autism sometimes connect with, and
Yeah.
water is one of them. But he'll literally pour his entire LaCroix on our couch cushion, and I'll be like, "Buddy, why? Why? Now no one can sit there. We have company coming over." And
Now we
then
gotta
my
lay a
middle
towel
child,
on it.
my 3-year-old Jonah Maverick, he man, he's so sweet and empathetic and entertaining and interesting, but also with that comes the Tasmanian devil spirit of like not being able to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're trying to get him to bed or the baby's sleeping, and he'll just be walking around the house going, "Nipples!"
That's how I was.
Because
as
he
a
heard
kid.
us say nipples once, and now he says it all the time, and we're like,
Mhm.
"Oh my God,
Oh
what
my
is happening?"
God.
Has being a dad like grounded you in a way that you didn't expect, or did you kind of like, for me, just being a dad for the first time, like I always wanted to be a dad, and then all of a sudden it happened, and it's just like I have found it to be really just calming because no matter what I'm stressed about, and I'm often
Mm.
stressed about a lot of things, or it just feels like the world's heavy and coming down on you, but like that is the one thing going home. It does it does ground me in a great way.
I think it helped me reprioritize in a way, which a good relationship or children will do. It also makes you have a better fortitude for things that you thought were hard really aren't hard in comparison.
Yeah.
But I think too, it's really, I don't know. I think it makes you a better person in general. Maybe. Yeah. I hope I answered that correctly.
I'm teaching
there's no wrong, yeah.
our 2-year-old to go, "Pretty please," to her dad.
Pretty please?
Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
"Use your
Batting
eyes."
Yeah.
And so she'll
Mhm.
be like this, "Pretty please."
Yeah. You can weaponize
She
them
just
or
points,
make
yeah.
them part of the Peace Corps. It depends.
Yeah.
It's funny though, the things they pick up on too, and sometimes the thing you're most perturbed by is a character trait that you yourself inhabit that
Oh
they're
my
somehow
gosh.
sponging.
And you see it in
Or-
them and
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
"Oh,
It's in
that's
their
me."
DNA. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
me.
like, oh,
I'm
my poor
sorry.
parents. I probably didn't give them enough credit, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it's the insurance commercial that really hits for me. Like, are you growing up to be like your parents?
Yeah.
And as I get older, I feel it in my bones. Like I'll do something and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm my dad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it really just like, I used to never think I was like my parents.
And sometimes quite literal, where like, I remember the story. Growing up, we had these friends called the Kunitzers, Ryan and Megan Kunitzer. And Megan tells this story about me. She was over playing with my sister, who she was in the same grade as. And she said she overheard from the bathroom, my mom said, "Paul Walter, why did you poop in the tub?" And I might have been 4 or 5 or something. I don't know. But I said to her, I go, "It feels warm." And I didn't know, I didn't even know how to interpret that because I'm so far away from 4 or 5. But she said to me, she goes, "If you do that again, I'll make you eat it." And I assume that worked as gangster of a response as that is. But yesterday, my son pooped his swim diaper, my 3-year-old, in the swimming pool for like the 12th time. And I've told him so many times not to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Why did you do it?" And he goes, "Because I pooped." There's no real reason. He's just, "Because I pooped." And it's like, as I'm having that moment of having to change his diaper and go through all this insanity of watery poo-poo, I'm just like, my parents apparently went through this once or twice with me, maybe more than I know. I mean,
Mhm.
Did it make you want to say next time you do this?
Yeah.
I'll make you eat it?
I mean, any threat we give him doesn't work usually, and that's the psychotic magic of my 3-year-old that I was alluding to
That's
earlier.
fun. That's fun.
He's not one for authority or correction.
He just couldn't do his thing.
I see in myself.
Yeah.
Took me a long time to get corrected on a number of things.
If there's anything from you and your wife's relationship that you hope your kids take on to their future relationships, what would you hope it would be?
Having a relationship with God,
Yeah.
not to be annoying and like shove that down people's throats. It's just, I don't know. I have to believe in God because people in positions of power fail too often. And I'm exhausted from the amount of failure in our public officials.
Yeah.
You can fill in the blanks as you hear that. And the other thing I would say is a sense of play.
Yeah.
My wife and I were able to laugh about the pain. We're able to laugh in the pain. We're able to make things fun. And I just think you can't stop dating your spouse. You got to keep finding ways to make it fun or interesting or just convivial in some way.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of marriages, and my own went south, vastly because of my behavior, and I corrected that and got sober. But I just see a lot of marriages that go south, and I really think there's a lack of effort. It's something,
Yeah.
it's called the pursuit of happiness because the root word is not happy, it's pursuit. You have to pursue each other, I think.
No, it's always encouraging to, I said I watched that YouTube video, and, people are often afraid to kind of talk about the dark times or sad times. And it's very inspiring when someone like yourself and your wife kind of are open about that, because you guys seem like you're in a great place now. And that's, it's not always easy to get through those moments and get to the
Yeah.
other side. And I think nowadays in this day and age, I feel like couples date, they hit a wall and then they just end things, and they don't know how to kind of work through some of those
Yeah.
issues.
So what I'm about to say, a lot of people in the manosphere would take offense to it and think that it's me being feminist. It's actually just me being honest. And some people can't handle honesty. Honesty to them is a differentiation from their ideology, and thus they feel the need to lambast verbally and punish via keyboard anybody who doesn't align with them. But the reality is such, the vast majority of the problems in the world are because men, and especially wealthy men, don't take responsibility or accountability for their actions. Give me 10 minutes to Google, I'll find you 7,000 answers for what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the same way that if someone says something untrue about me, I will violently hit back. You'll never see, if someone were to accuse me of something I didn't do, you will never see me put out a statement where it's like an attorney proofread it or something.
Yeah, on a black
It
screen.
will be me
Yeah.
being that bitch, as they say, to whomever is slandering me, because that's welcome to the real world. That's how I respond. I'm not an actor. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a person. If you say something that's not true, I'm going to be offended. If you say something that's true, I need to take accountability for it.
Mm.
And just the same way that I'm quick to fight back if it's untrue, I will be the first to sit down and swallow whatever chewed up food I put out there and be the first to say, yeah, I screwed up. Let's talk about it. I think that's hugely important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really well said. And I imagine being a father of two sons, that is something that you kind of think about as they get older. And
Dude, yeah, I'm going to read them the riot act. If they crash the car or I find them with a bunch of marijuana in their dresser drawer at 14, like I'm going to come down way less hard on them than if they do not take responsibility for something.
Yeah.
I don't mind you making mistakes, but you got to own it. You got to own it. You go through the pain. Surgery isn't fun. We all hate going to the dentist. We hate going to the doctor. We put off checkups and stuff. And it's like, dude, you are going to thank yourself for walking into the fire and walking through it, because if you wait, something way worse is going to happen. And we see that with diagnoses. You don't want to get a breast exam and then you have breast cancer. That almost happened to my mother, who fought breast cancer, and she had a moment where a friend told her, you need to get checked up if you haven't. She did, and she found something. It's like, nothing is gained from putting it off, I suppose.
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
Hinge, the dating app.
Did
Really?
you?
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Hinge. Shout out.
Shout out Hinge.
How long ago was
man.
that?
We met and went on our first date July 19th, I think, of 2020. No, 2019. July of 2019. Then we reconnected during COVID. when our jobs stopped and we were both in LA at the same time. And we didn't forget about each other. It was just, we were busy with other things, and suddenly no one was busy with anything.
That's kind of right around when we met.
Same time as
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it was, I think,
Wonderful time.
for the many problems I have with the COVID fallout, among them transparency, which I don't think there was. And that's not a partisan issue. I think it's pretty bipartisan to say we were not told the entirety of that story. I am grateful for the fact that it made me pause and forced me to fall in love, which I was so career obsessed at the time. I don't know if I would have seen what was in front of me. The gift that my wife Amy is and was, had it not been for COVID shutdown.
How does she kind of keep you grounded as your star continues to rise? And I feel like this is really the only beginning of your career. How does she keep you centered and keep you grounded so you don't like kind of lose yourself in this kind of crazy city that is Hollywood?
She's the perfect person for me because she both appreciates what I do for a living and will celebrate it with me, and has even been a part of it. Like, she worked for a record label at one point. She worked for a production company and was an associate producer on a movie with Dennis Quaid and Queen Latifah called The Tiger Rising. So like, she gets it, but she also will tell me like, time to put the phone away. Time to let's pray. Let's stop and eat a meal with our kids. Let's eat at the dining room table, not in front of the TV. Like, she has these wholesome sort of like black and white values that are helpful for me, for sure.
Natalie does the same thing. It's like those little things that you feel like
those
you know
little
you
things
need.
matter so much.
Yeah.
God, they matter.
I tell Nick all the time, like, don't walk in the house on the phone. Like, finish your phone call outside, finish it in the car. So that way when you walk in, she's like, Daddy, and you can be like, River. And it's not like,
River.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough.
And I never would have thought about something like that unless you made it a thing, and now it's like a thing.
I will say it's not all of our fault. If you look at the sort of evolution of the cell phone, it started out pretty harmless. We had it because we needed to text or call people. And what if you're in a jam, or what if you need to hear about something that's time sensitive, etc. But then it's like they put a navigation system on there. So you're using it in your car to navigate. And then they put music on there. So of course you're going to use it to play music. And it becomes this ever evolving snowball where we have to use it for our jobs. So suddenly it becomes work centric.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you can't not use it.
You can't escape it. You can't like clock out, you know?
And maybe you could if you did a hardcore caveman reversal, which some of my friends have. And that's a testament to their character and that they've done it. I haven't found a way yet.
If you were to talk to Paul in, say, 2018 or before things really made it for you,
Yikes.
what would be
Yikes.
what would be the thing that would surprise 2018 Paul the most if you were to give him a heads up on where things are today?
Like the time machine aspect of like, tell yourself what you're doing.
Yeah.
So much. It's weekly, if not daily. That I have an awesome wife and 3 healthy, awesome kids, that I lost weight and got sober, that I mean, there are days I was, it's just stupid. There's so many things. The fact that I'm promoting a movie where I got to co-star with Mark Wahlberg and be directed by Pete Farrelly and have a script from the writers of Deadpool and Zombieland. The fact that Amazon Skydance flew my family out to be with me during the shoot in Australia and put us up in a nice house. Like, I've been so blessed and fortunate. And then the fanboy in me, I'm texting wrestling heroes of mine like Mick Foley and Diamond Dallas Page, and I'm texting with Dave Bautista and Sam Rockwell, and it's just like, it's very cool that people I really admire are friendly with me and have helped me or want to collaborate.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell, that's a cool one. Did you?
Is there anyone cooler than him? I don't know. Him and Michael Shannon are like the top of my cool list.
Michael Shannon.
We actually
At least in
had
the boy category.
We actually had Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins
Love them.
on the show a couple months ago, and I heard that you were good for you train with them.
I did a training session with them in LA, and the ring was not soft. It was way harder than any ring I've ever been in. I took a bump on my back and I said, nope,
I'm
not
done
doing that. Not during a practice round. But they've been super sweet and supportive of what I do and I them in return. And it's been a fun friendship, those two. Yeah.
You've won an Emmy already, right?
Yeah.
Is like winning an Oscar or some of those like actor awards, is that like on your bucket list of accomplishments? I feel like it's just a matter of time before you win like an Oscar, or is that kind of superficial stuff that like you don't bother with, or would you be lying if?
I'd say
Yeah.
yes to both. I
Okay.
mean, it's equal parts a bucket list thing and be fun, but also like think of how many performances we love that are worthy of winning that haven't won. It's
Yeah.
like it's kind of hard to take award shows seriously when you don't nominate John Goodman for Best Supporting Actor for The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What a brilliant, fun, nuanced, specific, memorable performance. And it's like, really? You don't nominate him? Like, I kind of don't care after that
Yeah.
to some degree.
As far as like the supporting actor to leading actor thing, I feel like there's been a trend of a lot of roles that would typically be lead being put in the supporting category. And I was just wondering,
Yeah,
like,
sometimes that's like if they're going up against each other, like a
Mhm.
co-star thing. I remember Ford versus Ferrari came out like
Yeah.
6 years ago, and that was like do we nominate Christian Bale or Matt Damon? I think
Mhm.
at the end of the day, they both went for lead or support. I forget.
yeah. And I just feel like hearing you talk about kind of like for lack of a better term, like the character actor, right? Like John Goodman, Catherine O'Hara, like there's so much more to do with that. And it's such a specific thing versus like a typical like lead
Yeah.
role that I just feel like there's not as much of a value in that, even though like to your point, like it is
Yeah.
so much like the core of like art.
It's probably a money thing too. I mean,
Mhm.
prettier people lead films usually, and they put butts in seats, which makes the money, which keeps the circus going
Mhm.
around. So that's probably more where that is. But if you introduce me to Richard Gere and Stu Buscemi, it's like I'm more flabbergasted or excited to meet Buscemi, probably just because I love those roles more, even though Richard Gere is a super handsome, wealthy leading man who's brilliant in his own right.
How does Amy like celebrate the release of your movies? Like when Balls Up comes out, are y'all gonna? I mean, I imagine you probably wouldn't take the kids, but
Part of it's celebration, part of it's just respecting the space. Cause like sometimes the same way I'll respect her space and like, she'll go to a women's conference or a nonprofit thing or needs to go out for appetizers and drinks with the girls for 3 hours or whatever. Like she really gives me the space to do the press stuff. And if
Yeah.
I need to be creative and run my lines or do what I'm doing. And then celebration wise, just being a cheerleader, just being there for me and sometimes also if I'm not gobsmacked by what's going on, she'll kind of remind me like, do you realize what you get to do today? Like this is like,
oh,
that's so
yeah.
healthy,
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
nice. Do you watch your movies back? Do you watch your work back? Or are you kind of like, I don't want to see it?
Usually sometimes I'll just watch it once and I'll be like, that's enough. I don't need to watch that again. And then some stuff I watch all the time. Like I love I, Tanya. I would watch that once every year and a half or 2 years. Like I love Cruella.
Cruella was a great film.
I love Naked Gun. I'll probably watch once every year and a half or 2 years because and by the way, some people are like, oh, like you watch all your stuff. The actors who say like I can't watch my work, I'm just like, well, you're not going to learn anything because you learn by watching your work. And if you don't study yourself, you don't know what you need to eliminate or refine or add. There's a reason a chef, some of these chefs, by the way, are brilliant.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable what they would do with a tiramisu or an
Mhm.
African stew or what have you. But if they don't dip their spoon in and taste it, they don't know
Oh,
what to
no.
add or subtract.
Mhm.
They don't know if it's ready sometimes. And you see that all the way across the board. So I look at it more from that culinary standpoint of I'm taking the temperature and I'm tasting this. And there are times too where like I thought not everything I do is awesome. But what I did in something like I, Tanya, I don't need to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I know I did the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
tasted that and went, yup.
Do you think sometimes
job, kiddo.
the fear of watching it is like an insecurity about the performance? Because I feel like with stuff I've done, I have a hard time watching it. I think deep down I just don't have I feel like there's something wrong with it. And
I think I've graduated to a point where I know when I kill it and I know where I fall short.
Okay.
And so there's a comfortability in
Yeah.
watching or listening. Yeah. Press more than the actual acting work is harder sometimes because I go, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or oh, this might be taken this way, and I
Mhm.
get mad at myself.
is there an actor or director you have not worked with yet that's kind of on your bucket list that you hope?
So many.
Can you give us one?
I'm dying to work with Martin McDonough.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm dying to work with Anthony Hopkins, Denzel Washington. There's just people that I think that I would have a good time with too. That I go, I would love to work with somebody, just people that feel like similar to me, where we get along.
Like we could be friends. You almost want to
yeah, one of those. Like
Yeah.
I watch Revolutionary Road, and you could kind of be like, whoa, Kate and Leo, but part of me is more fascinated with Catherine Hahn and Michael Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work with them, just because I think they would get me and like me more. That's its own weird insecurity thing of like, when I worked with Sebastian Stan and Tanya, my first thought before meeting him was like, this guy's so pretty. He's going to hate me and be annoyed by my sense of humor. He's not going to get me. We're not going to get along. And that's its own trauma damage of my own.
Sure. Yeah.
Because then we did get along.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that is, but I have that thing too with like, I'm more apt to believe that Michael Shannon would get me and like me than Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
that
I
makes
think it's
sense.
super relatable. I always get weirder with, it's like you get weirder with people you'd want to date. You get weirder with people you're fans of, or you're like, you want them to like you, Like you're going to leave.
You want them to like
you're going to leave here and I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
how did that go?
Yeah, and then someone you're
Do you
like,
think he'll call
I
me?
love this little triumvirate here. I would come back anytime. Are you kidding me?
Do you feel like you see that path for yourself at some point directing any?
100%.
yeah,
I already have
you have
scripts
that
I've
eye?
written that I want to
Oh,
direct.
incredible.
And I got into producing in part to learn the trade and learn how movies get made behind the scenes. And that can be deeply frustrating, but also rewarding and fun. It depends.
Yeah.
I think I've learned that as a producer, I'm not really the money guy, but I am the guy who can do creative control, who can give notes on the script,
Mhm.
who can text or call an actor to get them to sign on. And I have found myself advocating for the cast and crew during filmmaking, where if they have an idea or someone's being bullied or treated unfairly, I'm the first to speak up and be like, this is bullshit. Like, we're going to do something about this. And I'm proud of that. I really like advocating for people because I didn't even realize it until recently. People look at me like, I had somebody say from the makeup department, hair and makeup, that these lovely women I worked on a movie with recently that I produced. It's called The Very Best People, and great cast. It's like me and Jake Lacey and Carrie Bechet, Kathy Moriarty, bunch of great people. But I had some people take me aside and they're like, just so you know, not everybody treats you the same. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, people show their best selves to you on set, and then they go and they mistreat somebody else who's lower on the totem pole. And it really messed me up. And I got choked up. And it kind of like felt like a bit of like a loss of innocence for me, because I just treat everybody the same, I think. And to know that people weren't being treated the same really upset me emotionally and in the justice tick that me and my wife have. So I'm definitely the guy who is going to be super chill about staying at a bad hotel motel. I'll be super chill about the food not being all the things that you hear people complain about, like their trailer, I will never complain about. But I will be an absolute monster if I hear that you're mistreating a production assistant for no reason. That
Love
makes
that.
me go absolutely berserk.
Love
That's
that.
amazing.
That's
I love how you're
awesome.
using your influence and power.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how
something
people
good.
worked with some of these people that you hear called out, like whether it's a Kevin Spacey or Harvey Weinstein. Like,
Yeah.
I am not okay with whatever is going on. I don't know their personal lives. I would never know that. That's why you don't fault people that have worked with Weinstein. Like, I don't know what the hell he's doing at 10 o'clock on a
Sure.
Tuesday.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
come on, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But if I see it or I'm party to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
ugly street version of me that grew up in Saginaw, Michigan, in a horrible neighborhood riddled with crime, / the Christian vibes of wanting to follow Christ and not put up with a bunch of crap
That
under the
is
name
a
of
dangerous duo.
religion.
Yeah.
It's a
Mhm.
dangerous
I
duo.
will be a beast if you bring that out of me.
You're a Midwest guy. I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like somebody, you're on a city bus and somebody mistreats some woman, you go up and you do something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't pull out your
Oh.
iPhone and film it like
Record
a
it.
coward.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not on that train.
That's so well said. Well, I know you got to get going, but I just want to thank you for Balls Up. We haven't gotten like a good buddy comedy, action comedy.
Dude,
in a
they're
long
just
Yeah.
time.
fun. Whether
Yeah.
it's like Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy in The Heat, which I
Ugh,
love.
love
So
that.
Thought it was
movie.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. It's time-honored tradition in the subgenre of buddy comedy that I wish we had more of them. I think sometimes that people make them, but they're kind of like half cooked. I think chemistry is everything. And thankfully I was friendly with Mark and he invited me to the movie and it shows. I think we have good chemistry. It works.
You do.
You guys have great chemistry. And there's one more question that when you were singing that duet in the movie together,
Gautier.
yeah. Did you guys know that you made that great music together? Because it honestly sounded
like they could bring back
ironically
Marky
really
Mark
good.
and the Funky
Like you
Bunch
guys should maybe
with
go
you.
on tour. Or was that improv? How did that come to be?
So we saw that in the script, and I was excited from the jump. I don't know that Mark was as excited as me. Maybe if it was like rapping NWA, he would have been a little more into it or something.
Marky Mark and
his
the Funky
vibe.
Bunch.
But yeah, we recorded that in a studio sound booth thing in Australia. And he went very glum and kind of like, I don't want to be here with the character choice. And I looked at it like, I'm here and just kind of went full jazz hands and got into it. And the juxtaposition of the two makes
great.
for good comedy, I think.
It's so good. The movie's called Balls Up. It's out today on Amazon Prime.
Yes, April 15, Amazon Prime, direct to streamer. And yeah, the nice thing about streamers, though I'm a theater guy and I go to the theater as often as possible, nice thing about a streamer, you can sit in your underpants and you can be checking your phone if you need to.
You
It's
could
a
sit on
great
the
watch.
LaCroix
It's
with your
great
home
fun.
couch.
It's hilarious.
Heat up leftovers in the microwave and watch a movie.
You
Yeah.
got Sacha Baron Cohen, you got Molly Shannon, you got
Eric
Mark
Andre,
Wahlberg.
Benjamin
Yeah.
Bratt. There's so many people
Yeah.
too. You might not know their names, but you'll IMDb search after the movie because they're so funny.
My favorite line in the movie was when your character gets, you're like, I got an Abigail Breslin. It's Shirley
my
Temple
God.
with double grenadine.
That was one on set where I kept I like improved a bunch of lines of what that could be. Abigail Breslin was the scripted line. It was by far the best, but I did it where I was like, this is a Rand Paul. This is I just kept trying to think of other people.
It was just so, oh my, it was the writer of Zombieland, you said?
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers of Zombieland Deadpool movies, they wrote in all these funny one-liners, and I was so grateful. We just had gold.
It was
So
beautiful.
good.
Yeah. There's another line. What is it? There's just some lines that like also sometimes they don't make you laugh on the page, and then you do it, and the performances bring it out. And yeah, I hope the people watching, listening, like, please don't think this is some broy raunch fest comedy. Like, this is very much a 4-quadrant movie where we're just there to make you laugh. Like, I am a Christian practicing person and I still love South Park.
Yeah.
And the idea is like, don't take it too seriously. Just have fun. You can still love people while watching a psychotic joke or two
Yeah,
throughout.
it sneaks up on you.
Oh,
It
man.
starts and you're kind of like, what am I watching? And then you get really into it. And then the next thing you know, you're just like having a blast. It's a really great movie.
Yeah. In these dark, uncertain times, please just throw it all away. Grab your one hitter or your bowl or your bag of Chex Mix and sidle up on the couch and watch something that'll make you laugh.
Well, Paul, I appreciate you taking the time. This has been a ton of
much fun.
fun for
Thank
all of
you.
us.
And God's blessings upon your little one.
Thank you.
Another beautiful, smart, strong, empowered woman entering the
Yes.
world.
Hell yeah.
And we pray blessing over that in Jesus' name. I can't wait
Thank
for
you
you.
so
It's you already know you have a kid,
It's the best.
but
The
but
best.
twins.
I know.
God is entrusting you with a lot,
Yeah.
Truly.
but you're equipped.
We
equipped.
We hope.
You're
Yeah.
gonna
can
kill it.
do it. Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
you can.
Yes, we can.
Somebody said there, like, anytime God sends a man a baby in his life, he sends a breadbasket. So some monetary and exciting situation of some kind will present itself at the right time too.
Yeah, well, we're very grateful.
You got
We're very excited, and we're also just excited to have you. So appreciate you taking the time.
The Viall Files.
The Viall
If you're not
Files.
watching and listening, what are you doing?
Period.
Like, what are you doing?
Seriously.
Don't make me air snatch you. Don't make me air snatch you.
Period.
Period.
Thanks for listening. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.